I'm going to call the meeting to order. If you would, stand for a moment of silence, and then I'm going to ask our student board member, Matthew Peak, to have the lead us in the pledge. Mr. Peak.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would, call the roll.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Matheson?
Here.
Mr. Payne?
Here.
Ms. Reese? Here. Mr. Carlton?
Here.
Mr. Peak?
Here. Okay, and we have a special presentation tonight, so I'm going to move item 5 up, which is approving naming the baseball stadium the Pavusik Memorial Stadium to the special recognition to the family of Coach Pete Pavusik.
And I'm going to ask Leon if he'll come. We definitely are saddened by the loss that we had in our school system. The past few years, we've lost several employees, specifically at the high school. But definitely want to honor and remember Coach Pete Pavusik for those that knew him and those didn't. One of the funniest guys you'd ever meet. Always had a smile on his face. Loved the kids, and it showed. Very passionate about the high school and about the baseball program. And I hate that we're having to do this, but I know that he would be deeply appreciative of what we're doing. So Diane, if you and the family, we have a lot of their family with us tonight, so I do appreciate you all coming. If you all want to come up, and Petey was able to skip his baseball game at King to come up, so we are glad that Petey and Peyton were both able to be here. And his beautiful mom is with us.
I just say, Coach P was a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and I love him and miss him, and appreciate his family.
So we would like to present this to the family of Coach P in appreciation for his outstanding and dedicated service to the Johnson County school system for 27 years and for the high school baseball program for 27 years. So I'd like to present this to you all on behalf of the school board and Johnson County. And if you don't care, we'd like to get a picture.
Have to squeeze in a bit.
I can see that.
So we have a motion on the floor to approve the naming of the baseball stadium, the Pete Pavusik Memorial Stadium. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion,
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Carlton?
Yes. So the baseball stadium will now be known the Pavusik Memorial Stadium.
Scoreboard on the baseball and softball field, but we're going to be putting a sign above the new scoreboard that says so we will get to working on that.
And we appreciate the family for coming out tonight. And you can either stay for our meeting or we can let you leave, or if you want to say anything. I don't know, Diane. I know that's hard. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to the family for coming. All right. Next item is scope conference, Matthew Peak and Braden Gentry.
Yes.
Okay.
One of the things that we are very proud of, we are one of the few systems that have school board representatives on our school board. So we would like to honor them at this time. So Braden, if you'll come down, and Maddie, come down. They go to Scope Conference every year, and Ms. Dishman, thank you for overseeing this and taking them. And if you can see, this is their official Scope TSBA picture. But we wanted to present them with a little plaque, and I think they're going to share maybe some information, maybe talk about what y'all voted on, what you discussed. So this is for Braden, and this is for me. So we can get a picture. And we're very proud of these young gentlemen. So do you want to share a little bit about Scope and your experience?
Yeah, sure. I mean, when me and Brandon first arrived, it was like, what, 8 in the morning? We arrived at 8 in the morning, and it's a huge line. There's people all over the state, and it was crazy to me. Because the last time I had that kind of conference, it was 7th grade, and it was Vexobotics. I went to the world competition. It was weird to me. But me and Brandon got assigned 2 different groups, so we wasn't together at all the entire day. We went to each other for, like, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, we was doing lunch.
Yeah, it was only doing lunch, and that was short as well. But I had a lot of fun. I got to meet a bunch of people from all across the state. It was from Memphis, people in Nashville, and I actually met someone from Elizabethton as well. And it blew my mind. And we got to debate. We had to pick 4 topics. And my team picked, I can't remember what it was. I think it was, it's let students leave like off school grounds for lunch and stuff. And it was super cool how they debated and stuff, and I just enjoyed it. I also want to give a special shout out to Mr. Eggers for driving us all the way down there and taking care of us to get us situated. It was very nice of him to do that. And I'm also thanking all of you guys for letting us do that as well, and then you paying for all of it, and it just meant a whole lot to me.
Braden, what was your topic?
My group discussed, we were advocating for a school uniform. So we had to debate policies that would advocate for school uniforms.
Did you win that or lose it?
We had some decent arguments. We actually left before, so I don't know how my group did, but we had some decent arguments that we came up with together with. So
My group lost.
But y'all don't want us to debate school uniforms, huh?
no.
All right, we'll table that.
Add that to the agenda.
All right. 2 great guys, and we appreciate you going and representing us well.
Well, thank you
I
guys.
appreciate y'all. Thank you
All right.
so much.
Thank you. Next item is Comprehensive Education Resource Curriculum Team.
Yes, and I'm asking Dr. Long to join me, and I'm going to let him do the majority of the talking. We do have several teachers that are on this team that represent Johnson County very well. All 17 districts in the First Tennessee area, from Morristown all the way to us, have teachers represented on this, and we just wanted to recognize the ones from Johnson County. And Dr. Long's going to sort of share a little bit more of information.
Yeah, so you said most of it, but we've the Comprehensive Educational Resources partnership of the districts has been very beneficial. It sort of was born in the worst possible time, so it's been a little longer than we maybe anticipated getting up to altitude, but despite our small size, we have had a lot of teachers contribute in a mighty way to that. And so what it is, in a very 15-second nutshell, it's an online platform where teachers can go and access very high quality free teaching materials to cover every standard in the Tennessee standards. And so our teachers have contributed in a big way to that. And a lot of them emailed me back, and one of them was coaching a baseball game, and a couple of them had another engagement and so forth. But I'm going to call all the names, and if you're here, please come up. Laura Baird. Laura, of course, teaches at Doe. Brooke Graham. Brooke teaches at Mountain City. Chris Dunbar. He's coaching baseball. He teaches at the middle school. Rebecca Boyd. Ashley Holt. She teaches at the high school along with Miss Boyd. Clarissa Schmall and Heather Taylor, both of which work at the high school. So,
We just wanted to recognize and honor them. We can get a picture.
All right. Consent agenda, if you would. Look at the consent agenda, if there's anything that needs to be pulled off and discussed individually. let us know. Otherwise, we entertain a motion.
Move we approve.
We have a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a second. Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Carlton?
Yes. Next item, report from our student board member, Matthew Peak.
All right, so before I start this, I do want to say I included stuff in May as well, so I get this is April and May, so no confusion. Anyways, so the first things first is Chef Heath and the culinary students will have a food truck on Thursdays and Fridays, if we are in school, from 11:30 to 12:30 in the gravel parking lots beside the food country and the bank. The spring plants are currently being sold at the greenhouse. If you have any questions, please ask Mr. Boyd. Oh, he left. At the high school. On Friday, April 8th at 7 p.m. will be the band spring concert. I hope you guys will be there. Wednesday, April 20th, NHS will host a blood drive at the high school from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., so please be there as well. Saturday, April 23rd, will be my senior prom. It is being held at the Carnegie in Johnson City. I'm very excited for it. Wednesday, April 27th, the NHS inductions will be held at 5 p.m. in the high school gym. Friday, May 6th, the FFA banquet will be held at 6 p.m. And Tuesday, May 10th, the NTHS inductions will be held at 5:30 in the high school gym. Thursday, May 12th, the American Job Career Fair will be held in the high school gym. And Tuesday, May 17th, is Senior Awards Night. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Matthew.
You're welcome.
Next item, approve TSBA 2023 membership dues. Dr. Simcox?
This is just the annual dues that we pay to TSBA for all they do for us, for our policies, and definitely recommend it.
How much is them dues? Here.
$5,329.
And that includes policies,
Yes.
updates?
Yes, policy updates.
And it also includes the training that's required as school board member.
And the legal services that we get. Representation in the legislation and the State Board of Education, policy services, conventions,
Policy services.
publications,
Three
communications.
All right.
Move we approve.
Got a motion to approve? Have a second?
I'll second.
All right, discussion? All right, call the roll, please.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
No.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Carlton?
Yes. All right, we have recommendation of tenure candidates.
This month is just recommendation. Next month you will actually vote on them, and Ms. Wills will be sending you their portfolio information. We have Caitlin Vincent, Samantha Childers, and Lynn Stalvey.
Okay,
And they are all three elementary teachers up for tenure.
which schools?
Caitlin is at Laurel with Dr. Eggers. Samantha is at Mountain City, and Lynn is at Rome Creek.
Okay. All right. Next item is the first reading of TSBA recommended changes to the following policies. Board members' legal status.
Yes. And that is just deleting on the qualifications, just to delete a few words that is on a nonpartisan basis, just to delete that little section. And that, I guess, will depend on more with the election, but they do recommend taking those few words out. So that's the only thing that changes on that, in case
Right.
the partisan bill passes.
Any questions? Number 10 is the first reading of the Johnson County Board of Education Policy Committee recommended changes to the following policies. The first one's complaints and grievances. Second one is Title IX and sexual harassment.
Yes, and these are just changes in names. As I have informed you, Ms. Norton is retiring. And with grievances and Title IX, we have to have 2 complaint managers. One is a male, one is a female, depending on, what you're dealing with. Dr. Long is the male complaint. Dr. Stephen Long is the male complaint manager, and Ms. Paula Norton is the female. But with her retiring, that will now go to Dr. Imogene South. So we have to change their names in policy, and we are required to have their names listed. We can't just say a position. We have to have actual names. So it's just changing that. You could vote no, and that way Ms. Norton wouldn't have to retire.
All right. Next item is to approve the 5-year strategic plan for 2020-2025.
Yes, and this is the 5-year strategic plan that we developed at the board retreat. This will, once you approve it, will go on the website.
Okay.
And then we'll be working on those monthly.
And I think this year we were a little more specific in some of the things that we asked for when we, and it has been updated. So it's not the same as, if somebody has seen it before, it's changed a little bit.
Yes.
And we were more specific in a lot of the things that we addressed.
Yes,
And we added some things.
we did.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion, we approve the strategic plan.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Carlton?
Yes. Next item is to approve the summer work list.
Yes, this is the summer work list that you all receive every year. Currently, we're not sure if we will get any inmate labor, and if we do, it will be very, very sparse. So the majority of the summer work list items will be done by maintenance and custodians, you know, and some of those we may not be able to get to, but a lot of the building, you know, the painting and the gym floors and the mulching of the playground, we will get to all the normal stuff that we always do. There's no big items on there, and Mr. Adams oversees that, but there's not really any big items because we know we're not probably getting a lot of labor. We're hoping to get the student labor like we did last year. They definitely helped a lot, but again, we don't know if we're going to be receiving that.
Okay. Next one is to approve the patching and paving and sealing. Oh, skip the summer work list.
Yeah, I got a question on that, and it actually, referencing the one you started on there, Ms. Carlton. It dug that big hole in the driveway. Does this patching quote cover that one?
Well, we'll probably fill that before schools ever out, but the problem there is there's water that keeps coming out and it pushes it out. But whenever this fella comes in and does a professional job, hopefully it'll stay a little bit longer. But we'll try to get the big one at Doe done before the end of the school year.
Okay, so let's go back to the summer work list, and then we'll come back to that one. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion, we approve this summer work list.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a second. Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese? Yes. Mr. Carlton?
Yes. Now, approving the paving, patching, sealing of parking lots funded through the epidemiology grant.
And I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Adams as well. He oversees this, but this is funded through the epidemiology grant. This was one of the things that we discussed with you all last June when y'all approved the grant.
And this was bid out according to board policy. So we had one bid turned back in. There's a couple of spots up at the high school that's beyond patching, and that's where the paving itself comes in. The rest of the spots will be caulked, sealed, and then paint lines repainted at each of our locations.
All right, do we have a motion?
Move approved.
Excuse me just a moment. Herbie,
Yes,
on the Doe Valley, Jeff's still on that project there
Yeah.
after school's out, right?
last time I talked to him, he said yes, and I thought we would have that one done last because you don't want all that heavy traffic right after it's resealed. And the fellow that has bid this out is good with doing it last.
So what are you gonna do? I thought he's gonna put tar and gravel on it down there.
Well, all Jeff would do, you're talking about widening the drive, correct? He would go up through there and put a tile to carry that water out of there, could cover it over with dirt and pave that. So that'll be what Jeff does for us. And then Neil, he will finish the rest of it whenever he seals it.
Okay.
So we hope to have that done before fall.
Well, all of that should be done by the end of June,
Okay,
according
good.
to our timeline.
Good deal. All right, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second. Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese? Yes. Mr. Carlton?
Yes. Next item is to approve proposal from Bernstein and Manasavet PLLC firm for pre-audit funded through the fiscal pre-monitoring supports grant. Dr. Simcox,
Yes.
and you can explain that to
Yes,
us.
Ms. Wills and I will explain that to you. I'll probably let Ms. Wills explain the bulk of it. This is a good thing. This is where we have all these ESSER dollars. You know, we definitely want to ensure that we're doing everything right, especially with the construction of Mountain City Elementary. They will come in and audit and help us to ensure that we are doing everything right. So when we are federally monitored, we won't have it, hopefully we'll not have any findings. Majority of systems across the states are definitely do this. This is no cost to our budget because this is through a grant. But Angie she's more involved with it because where she deals with the ESSER grants and all the other grants.
Tina and I did reach out to several other districts to find out, because we reached out to our auditor and they did not feel that they had the capacity to take on this pre-auditing grant. So I reached out to other districts, and we called those districts and they could just simply not take on any more districts to work with. And then it just so happened that Bruce and Manassas reached out to us to say that they are doing this. And honestly, I'm glad that we waited, because they are the federal gurus. They are the people that come in and do all of our state training to ensure that we are meeting all the federal requirements. So I feel really good about this, that they will be able to. They're going to come in and look at all of our policies. If they'll look at board policies to make sure that everything that should be included is. They'll look at our uniform grants guidance, which is all of the federal requirements that we should be following, making sure that our policies are up to date. Then they'll come in, they're actually going to come on site, and they'll, actually pull, requisitions and POs, and they'll go through all this just, to double check us to make sure we are doing everything correctly.
Okay. Sounds like,
Which brings up a question, Director. On your building project that's coming on, since we've had an increase in building materials and inflation, are you gonna have enough money to complete this project?
The architect actually met with us on Tuesday. Of course, the cost has went up from the initial, I guess, proposal, but we still have enough money in there to cover that.
Okay.
sounds like you're doing a good job preparing for any kind of mistakes that could be made in such a broad use of money, so really pleased to see that. Okay, so do we have a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion we approve this.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, if you would, call the roll, please. Or, well, is there any other discussion?
Well, I just want to make sure that these funds is from a grant, and there will be no funds that will be taken out of our budget. Is that correct?
No, that is correct. Every district was given the opportunity to apply, and that is totally separate funds.
Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Call the roll.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Matheson?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Ms. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Carlton?
Yes. Okay, budget update, Ms. Lickford?
The school department, as of today, is 71.5% revenue received and 65.2% of appropriations expended in our general purpose school fund, 11.7% revenue received and 23.1% of appropriations expended in federal projects, 66.2% revenue received and 67.6% of appropriations expended in central cafeteria, and Head Start, the fiscal year project, is 53.4% revenue received and 62.3% of appropriations expended. The majority of these expenditures are from salaries and the benefits. They do not include the revenue that just came in for March, but I listed a list there of each of the funds and what the revenue was received. And then you also have information on there on the sales tax collection and property tax collection. Something I'd mentioned, I looked at totals from prior year, and with sales tax collections, the numbers are up before the split occurs, and with property tax collections, looking at the same time last year, the property tax collections are down just a bit.
Okay. Well, everybody's got to pay at some point, so guess it'll come in sometime. Thank you. Any questions for Tina? All right. Dr. Simcox.
Yes, today was Support Staff Appreciation Day, so we definitely appreciate all of our support staff. They do a hard job and work very hard to ensure that our students are getting the best education possible. So we definitely appreciate them. I know the schools celebrated them today. The Presidential Academic Awards will be Monday, May the 9th at 6:30 at the high school. So please plan on attending. We don't know yet the number that's coming in because we're just now getting the pre-ACT information back for 6th grade and 8th grade. So we don't know exactly how many we'll be honoring, but that will be a night to celebrate those students. Just a few little extra things. We are working on a partnership with TSBA and Mountain Electric, and hopefully we'll have some more information on that in the next few weeks. So it's looking hopeful we might have some additional dollars coming in to hopefully help out some things with TSBA and Mountain Electric. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at Heritage Hall is the Johnson County Community Foundation Talent Show. They are practicing tonight, so definitely come out and support our talented students as they perform in that. We will be having a second Harvest Food Bank giveaway next Thursday at 10 a.m. at the high school for any community members that would like to come and get boxes of food for the Easter break. There is no school that day, so that's why we're doing it on Thursday. And again, no school Thursday through Monday the 18th, and I just want to wish everyone a happy Easter.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right. Mr. Matheson?
Yeah, Howard, I'd like to ask you if you found out anything on Brian Taylor's evaluation, if you got that resolved.
Well, I'm not going to discuss his personnel stuff in an open meeting. I mean, that's a confidential personnel matter.
I didn't say nothing about his personnel. I
Yes,
said, did you?
yes. Yes, we did. Yes.
Okay. Was he pleased with his answer?
I'm not gonna discuss it anymore. That's between Brian and, I mean, his conversation with me would be between him and me, and then his personnel matter would be between him and Ms. Eggers and Dr. Simcox.
You're his board member down there. Why can't you discuss it?
I am, and I'm not gonna bring it up in an open board meeting. That would be inappropriate,
How would it be inappropriate?
because this is an open meeting and that's a personnel matter.
Now that you're dodging it.
Not dodging anything.
Okay, another question I have here is, why was the Shady Kids not listed in the Tomahawk to go register for kindergarten, pre-kindergarten, all that? It gave all the other schools.
It gives the schools, we do not have a school in Shady
I
Valley.
know you don't, but you have kids in Shady
But we
Valley.
only list the schools, we don't list communities.
Well, it didn't say nothing about the Shady Kids, so.
But I mean, it doesn't say Forge Creek kids, it doesn't say trade kids.
Yes, it did.
Excuse me, this is just for the board.
So why wasn't it listed? I've been asked that question by some of the parents over there.
I don't have an answer.
I don't, well, I guess when the school was there,
When the school was there, we would have
had
said Shady Valley's
School,
kids
but
to, yeah.
I don't know that,
It did not
It
mention
being
anything
separate.
about the Shady Kids where they go register.
well,
Would you like to speak from the trauma hall?
If-
I've got it right here.
I mean,
Ms.
if,
Matheson is just for the board, okay?
if
Nothing from
the
floor.
children are of age to go to kindergarten, I'd say most parents would know that
No,
they're
they
registered.
didn't.
When they get to choose which school they can go to, I mean, they can go to Mountain City School, they can go to Doe School.
Yeah. I didn't know, which I don't read Tomahawk, so I didn't see that.
And I do apologize if there was confusion on the part for Shady Valley students, but, they can pick the school they want to go to register in.
And another thing, I have that on our good insurance that we have. I have the eye vision. I went to the eye doctor this week. And come to find out, I didn't have no insurance. Haven't had any since December. Who was supposed to notify me that,
You were actually notified twice through emails by me about the open enrollment policy, one on September the 29th that went out to all faculty and board members are included on that. And then on the Friday fact sheet on Friday, October the 1st, which also goes to you all, that states open enrollment is next week, which school, what date, what time you could attend. And it says every employee needs to make sure they see an enroller next week.
well, that didn't hit my machine.
Well, I mean, your email's on here. Everyone was notified. And then it's my understanding that for those that did not attend, 5 Points reached out to say,
It was very embarrassing for me trying to explain to them I did have insurance. And I was under Davison Vision. And they said, no, you're not. So I had to cough up $1,200 some dollars. And that's all I have.
All right. Mr. Payne?
Just want to congratulate our baseball and softball teams at the high school. I know they're doing really well, especially those softball girls finally beat Unicoy.
yes, they did.
So
First
that's a
time in a
high
long
note.
time.
And I think the middle school teams are doing pretty good too, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Just wanted to see that. And then also our FFA kids hit the front page of the newspaper as a highlight. It's always good to see our kids in the newspaper. And I want to wish everyone a happy Easter. And that's all I'm going on with.
Okay, Ms. Reese?
Okay. First of all, I would like to congratulate Mrs. Teresa Neiman, who was the educator of the week from Johnson County Middle School, and it was from the WJHL.
That's neat.
And that was a great accomplishment. I've wondered before, you know, I said, I wish we had somebody from Johnson County, and then about a week or two later, there she was, you know, from Johnson County. And that is great, and I do congratulate her. Second of all, I would like to thank everybody in the school system, our teachers, our assistants, and anybody that has anything to do with our school system. It takes everyone working together to make a school system and to have a successful school system. And our main objective is to make sure that our children get the best education that they do. And I do hope that that is what everybody's purpose is, and that that is the first thing that's on their mind, and that they are on board with seeing that that is what our children get. And also, I would like to wish everybody a happy Easter. I hope you have a good few days off. Everybody truly deserves it. And that's all I have to say.
Mr. Long?
Yeah, that's, I echo that, happy Easter and wishing everybody well. We get a couple days off, and it's a well-deserved break. And I was challenged the last meeting, and I didn't realize that I wasn't. When I thank folks, it's not just this room, it's everybody. And I just wanted to make that clear. When particularly me, I won't speak for the whole board, but when we thank our people, we're talking about from bus drivers all the way up to administration. And the last meeting that was brought to me, and I said, well, I thought I was, but I haven't made it clear, and I want to make that clear. I do thank everybody.
All right. And I'd echo the same things. I'm real pleased to see that COVID's pretty much been eliminated in our schools. Any more problems with flu?
No, not that I'm aware of. I know our staff is good, so, and I've not heard of a lot of students like it was, so hopefully
Okay.
spring fever's all we're gonna be dealing with.
Well, we got a lot of good things going on through the vocational section. And hopefully the drive at Doe, which we've looked at for a lot of years, and get paving done. And some of the construction projects, mostly for Mountain City Elementary, which is much needed and is a gift to Johnson County. Even though it's taxpayers' dollars, it is coming from a grant coming back to Johnson County, so we're real pleased with that. And I'm real happy to see the fact that you have gotten this pre-audit team coming in to make sure, because auditors, no matter when you have an audit, are always going to try to find something. And that's a lot of dollars to be tracking. So I appreciate that, and I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of hard work put into that. And we want to appreciate everybody who works on grants as well, because we've had a lot of grant money come our way. And like tonight, when we're talking, a lot of things are free to us because it's coming back from a grant. So that's great. I think there's a lot of good accomplishments going on. Real pleased to see that we could honor Pete Pavusik with the ball field. I think that's a much needed and will be something to be proud of for, you know, a long time to come.
Yes.
All right, do you have anything else?
No.
All right. If there's nothing else, meeting's adjourned. Oh, I gotta get a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right. I knew it was coming.